Next Curve.
Hey everyone, welcome to Next Curve's Rethink webcast and our series From the Radio to the Rick. I'm Leonard Lee, Executive Analyst at Next Curve, joined by my good friend and renowned telco tech analyst, Earl Lum of EJL Wireless. And it's that time of year again. We are fast closing in on MWC 2025. Too many, Earl, way too many events going on. This is just the beginning of the year. It's crazy.
Well, way too many for you.
I'm losing it. Yes. And so what we're going to be talking about, our agenda. What is it that we're going to be looking for at this year's premier mobile industry event, which takes place in Barcelona toward the end of February into the early first week of March. And so it's coming up quickly, and we're going to share with you what we're looking for and a little bit of what we hope to see. So before we get started, remember to like, share, and comment on this episode, even though this is going to be a short one, and subscribe to the Rethink podcast here on YouTube and on Buzzsprout. Take us on the road and on your jog, and listen to us on your favorite podcast platform. And yeah, with that, why don't you start off, Earl? What are you looking for? What do you expect at this year's MWC?
Well, I think I expect a lot of people to talk about AI RAN.
Yep.
I expect people to be trying, talking about what is their latest and greatest toy that they're going to be demonstrating and unveiling to the mobile operator community or to the wireless community in general. So by that, I mean all of the new radios that are going to be coming out, all of the new antenna products, anything related to Open RAN is certainly going to be on my radar in terms of making sure I understand what's there. And then what is that cool technology that I can find, that needle in the haystack?
Yeah.
That is going to wow me, that is going to impress me, because, to be quite honest, everything there is interesting. There's some cool stuff that happens and that gets unveiled every year, but does it blow me away? Yeah, usually not. But there's always the hope and possibility that something will. So I'm looking forward to figuring out what that is. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm hoping there'll be something there that will do that, and we'll see what booth it's in.
Yeah, and that's always the beauty of being there in person, right? It's that serendipity, and now that's becoming an overused term. Now everyone uses that term, serendipity. Serendipity doodah. It's that's how you bump into the really cool stuff, and I'm looking forward to that, as I do every year. And yeah, I'm with you, man. What is the state of the radio? But you're the radio guy. You're going to be the one who tells me what I'm actually looking at. The other thing I'm looking forward to is network APIs and this whole CAMARA, the progress of CAMARA, the Open Gateway Initiative. And for those of you who may recall, GSMA announced the Open Gateway Initiative in 2023. And since there's been a number of announcements, most notably the announcement of the Aduna, the recently named Aduna, which was announced, at least that it's a JV amongst 12 operators and Ericsson, as well as Vonage and Google, to establish an exchange, a network API exchange, for lack of a better word, of global scale. And so I think there's going to be a lot of news and talk about it at this year's MWC. And I'm just really curious to see how this thing gets kicked off, right? Because I think this is the first time we've seen a really global effort to implement the spirit of the Open Gateway Initiative. So this should be exciting. The other thing I'm looking for are signs of this transition away from sort of these aspirational 5G stuff related to transformation that has largely been sort of hyped up by generative AI. I'm trying to see if there's evidence of people just kind of settling back into more sensible 5G modernization focus, right? Things like modernizing your network. How about that? Let's see if we can make the transition to SA and figure out a business case for doing that. Modernizing operations, OSS, BSS, CPQ, all these things that are essential to actually, creating a monetization channel on top of a modernized network. Are we focusing on that? Because I think over the last few years actually, I think the industry and the conference overall thematically has, become distracted by so many cycles of hype, generative AI being the latest one. And the previous one obviously is Metaverse, right? So maybe see if there's a dead body lying around somewhere with the Metaverse tag around its neck. We'll
or along its big toe. But I also think that, like you said, on the CAMARA and on the API and Ericsson and its partners, it'll be interesting to see what Ericsson is going to be showcasing in its booth, obviously in Hall 2, as usual. And then what are the other operator partners going to be showcasing about that theme in their own respective booths? I think it's going to be key to understand how aligned are they from the official word to what they're promoting at the show. And then also, I think a key thing and a key point for our listeners and viewers is, what are Huawei and ZTE going to have in their booths? Because that is really going to be a sign of where part of the industry, at least the Chinese part of the industry, is going to be going. And where does the rest of the industry try to follow?
Yeah, exactly. And, last year, if you read the report that I put out, there's a lot of hints as to some of the key areas of innovation that the Chinese vendors have been moving forward with which largely wasn't talked about, but especially of late with the advent of DeepSeek, and there's a lot of themes that were pretty relevant to what we're seeing today on the generative AI supercomputing and training side of things, and I'm very interested in seeing what their talk track is going to be about, especially as it pertains to 5.5G or 5G advanced. What is the kind of traction that they're making there? And then also want to find out more about what is happening with this idea of AI native. You mentioned AI RAN, but then there's also this broader topic of AI native. And I've asked several vendors and technologists in the telco industry, well, what do we mean by AI native? And it was a question I posed at 5G Americas. Not a lot of people have a good idea. A lot of it is hypothetical. And so what is it that we're trying to move toward? And as many people know, you've already mentioned it, Earl, AI RAN is that topic du jour. It's supplanted open RAN in many ways. I think largely due to the fact that the air has been released from that balloon.
Yes, deflated just a bit, and
deflated.
And maybe there'll be sightings of John Baker at MWC Barcelona. We'll have to wait and see.
John, reach out to us. We definitely want to.
Yeah, would love to talk to you.
Yes, because he's gonna. If there's any person in the world who's going to breathe life back into Open RAN. It's John Baker. So, John, definitely, hopefully you watch this episode and you reach out to us and get us on your calendar, because you're not on our calendars yet. But yeah, what is Open RAN 2.0 going to look like, or at least Redux? Because it's not gone. We've never said that it would go away. We only cited that there is a Squid Game going on, and we're probably looking at Squid Game season 2.
Exactly.
Like I think Netflix they just released, right? I think, they released season 2 of the Squid Game. So this is very timely. Yeah.
I also think that again, there are a lot of things that you just come upon without knowing that you were going to look for it as you're going up and down every aisle of every one of the halls, except for Hall 8. No offense to them, but I'm never going there. And, there's always something that you're not expecting that just pops up. So like you said, not serendipity, maybe it's fate or something else that you were meant to see and discover that technology or that product from some unknown vendor that's there. But I think the focus obviously is on the big guys, at least for me, in terms of what the top radio guys are going to be doing and what's in their booths. And for those that have been shut out historically at Ericsson, this year is your lucky year if you're going. They will actually have an external outside exhibit before you have to go through the wonderful turnstiles and badge into the actual booth. So there actually is going to be some stuff for people to see from Ericsson that won't be behind the walls, or the closed garden, as we so put it historically. So I think that will hopefully get a lot more people to go to the Ericsson booth that have not been planning to go.
Yeah, and you know what? I'd love to talk to Nokia. Obviously, they're doing a lot of stuff related to network APIs, right? They have their network as code platform that they announced a couple of years ago now, I think. Going on a couple of years ago. So it'll be interesting to see where their head's at, especially given the moves that Ericsson is making with its operator partners. And, there is a bit of overlap. And so, what's the play there? And that I think that would be also a good opportunity to find out what is it that they're doing in terms of, addressing the North America market, right? And other markets that they're playing in, given, that their business is also fundamentally shifting, right? With a lot of the acquisitions that they've made of late with Infinera. So how does all that stuff play out, and what kind of stories surface from that booth this year, given a lot of the changes that are happening at Nokia? And the other thing, obviously, silicon is always an interesting thing. So we're going to be talking to silicon folks and what the state of their business is. Really interested in how they're viewing the market opportunity, and maybe exchanging, notes, or at least comparing notes. And edge infrastructure, I think that's another big thing. One of the things that we always see coming from MWC are inklings of, the next generation of edge orchestration, edge management, and edge infrastructure technologies. And so always have an eye out for any new developments there. So I'm sure that our silicon buddies, semiconductor buddies, are going to have some stories and new announcements that they're going to make. And so that's something else that I'm going to kind of look into as part of my tradition of attending MWC.
I think finally, we're going to be looking forward to a lot of great food.
Oh, yeah.
And again, the social aspects of meeting with people from the industry and getting insights from them, usually outside of the booth. After hours, and that's where all of the cool stuff could be discovered. And again, I think it's going to be a good week. And finally, my focus is to not lose anything this year as compared to last year. So I'll leave it at that.
Good thing. Yes.
That would be a good thing. I'm not due for another 10 years.
Yeah. Well, always travel with a buddy. And yeah, if anybody wants to invite us to their party, I mean, we are life of the party for hire. So we're happy to show up at your party. We're only double booked at the moment. So we're happy to be triple and quadruple
booked. Exactly.
But yes,
we will make an appearance.
We have those number 3 and number 4 overlapping slots in our schedule in the evening. So just reach out to us and we'll be happy to drop by and say hi. And then, hopefully have a chance to chat about what's hot for your company at MWC 2025. And also remember, we're going to have now what is our traditional recap podcast that we will film in some, hole in the wall restaurant.
Spacious hole in the wall restaurant.
Yeah, spacious hole in the wall restaurant with great tapas and wonderful wine. And we will be joined by Mark Poos, who is the IoT giant of Balena. And
literally.
Yes, he is literally a giant. And he'll be joining us, and we'll be recapping MWC 2025. So you won't want to miss out on that. So it's just going to be pandemonium.
Yes, it'll be a crazy week, as always.
Yes. So, hey, thanks everyone for tuning in, and make sure to reach out to us if you want to talk to NextCurve and or EJL Wireless. You can reach us at www.next-curve.com. You can contact Earl at www.ejlwireless.com, and just, go to LinkedIn, DM either of us, both of us, if you want both of us there and want to talk to both of us. And yes, please subscribe to the NextCurve YouTube channel. And the easiest thing to do is subscribe to the NextCurve Research Portal and Media Center at www.next-curve.com for a constant diet of tech and industry insights from MWC 2025. Oh, also make sure to watch last year's podcast that we have for 2024. That'll be a good, it'll be a good, I don't know, what do you call it? A prep.
Yes.
For the event this year. And so a nice retrospective, if you will. And I also have a report, and I think, Earl, you do as well, on LinkedIn, as well as on our respective research sites that you can read up on, and it will hopefully provide you with some good background into what we're probably going to encounter this year in Barcelona. So with that, we'll see you in Barcelona.
Yes, see you in Barcelona. Thanks, Larry.